Dear show. Please rise and remove cover as we sing our nation's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Geigel Girls of Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah. Ladies calf that comes in second. Nice kind of a market heifer deal. Maybe gets a little short and round from her hooks to her pins. Needs a shot of bone and foot to run with our class winner, but love the look, love the body. Really neat looking. I think you have a lot of fun with that one down the road. Calf that comes next, a nice kind of a calf. Just needs a shot more power and punch for me out here today. Nice long bodied calf, got some depth of muscle to him, got a nice look. Just need to see a little bit more of him for what I'm looking for. Same for the calf that comes next. Nice profile, very sound structured, good footed. Just needs a little more shot of power for me to get him any higher today. The Scotty Highlander, very nice calf there for Scotty. I think in his own respective breed, he'd do exceptionally well. That's a very sound, very good bone, very good footed calf. He's got a lot of shape and dimension out of his top. Just gets a little flatter down low for what I'm looking for. Calf that rounds out the class, young man does a great job sticking this one. He just gets a little moderate and quick in his type and his kind for me today.
Congratulations to your class winner, Waylon Jenkins of Jensen. Waddell, Arizona. And rounding out the class will be Ridge Zimmer of Sholo, Arizona. Thank our arena sponsors of the Arizona National Livestock Show. Without their support, we wouldn't have this such beautiful arena to show our cattle in. We'd like to thank Ag West, Bales Hay Sales, BHP Miniature Herefords, Biozyme, Empire Cat, GNC Water and Ice, Going Places RV, Johnson Livestock Company, KB Livestock Show Supplies, Curly Cattle Company, Kimes Ranch, Lincoln Family Foundation, Legits You Gotta Believe Show Camps, Nutrition by Design, Hairpin S Cattle Company, Salt River Project, Sartwell Brahmin Ranch, Showright, Sullivan Soap Supply, Transova, Weaver Leather Livestock, and WW Rodeo Systems. Please give these sponsors a big round of applause.
Another nice class here. Got two really nice calves here on the top end. Calf that leads off, he just has the most look for me. Boy, you really like the exotic look that he has throughout front 1/3, way his neck comes out top side of his shoulders, way his ear set is. Very, very nice from his jaw to his chest. Very nicely bounced from his chest back to his twist. He's a big back, big, bold hip kind of calf. Got some nice stout pieces to him. Big-legged. I would like to maybe see this calf walk just a little with more lateral width in his lower skeleton and blow him apart right there, but he's still green and skinny, and I think that'll come in time. Nice calf. Calf that comes here in second. Good high-quality calf. Structure gets him to the second hole easy for me, and yet he's the second soundest one that's out here. He's got a nice look. He's got nice balance to him. Like the way his tail head lays into his spine. Big back, opened up in his mid-rib. Got a good stout hip in him. Just a very, very good, complete kind of calf. Calf comes here next in third. I really like this calf. I really like the product and the width and shape and dimension that he has. He's a big, bold, robust kind of a calf. But for me out here in this lineup, he just wants to get up on those ankles when you set him in the motion and kind of roll and drop his pins. When you get him on the move, we fix that. We can move him up a spot or two. Like the shorthorn looking calf that comes next. Good stout kind of a female there. Just like to refine the head, make it a little more youthful, make it a little more longevity look to it. She wants to be just a little modern type and kind for me, but I like a lot of good things about it. Really growth and performance oriented kind of steer here. He's a big bone, big footed calf that is sound structured, has a nice look to him, but still stout. Good made, but gets a little flatter in his overall rib cage. Wants to pinch into that hard, flatten into his overall muscle pattern when he gets out and goes. Calf that rounds out the class, one that's got a red calf. He's got a nice look to him. He's green in terms of condition. Just like to make him more mobile off of either end of his skeletal design.
Congratulations to your class winner, Faith Campa of Golden Valley, Arizona. Second, Teague McFarland of Montague, Texas. Third, Cheyenne Bushman of Joseph City, Arizona. Fourth, Bowen Leister of Goodyear, Arizona. Fifth, Alyssa Welch of Cottonwood, Arizona. And sixth, Rory Bauma of Stephenville, Montana. 3 of the Junior Prospect Steer Show. Welcome to the ring, Smokey Darby, Paulden, Arizona. Gemma Bauma, Stephenville, Montana. Tilly Rubio, Hillsboro, New Mexico. Arlette Flores of Williams, Arizona. Colton Bushman of Joseph City, Arizona. Addie Lafferty of Brad, New Mexico. And Caleb Thompson of Fruitland, New Mexico. People that are sitting ringside, if you happen to get thirsty, the hacienda is now open. So you can make your way on over and grab yourself a beverage to enjoy today's shows. We will be shortly in about 40 minutes. We'll be starting the junior heifer show that will be on the north end of the outside cattle arena. So we'll have 2 shows going at once here shortly. Make your way over to the hacienda.
That rides to the top relatively easy in my mind. You know, he's a good-looking little fella. Got a really nice neck. The way it comes out top side of that shoulder, you know, it balances so nicely from his chest floor all the way back to his twist. He's a big bone, big, round, dense-footed, big, wide ankle calf. It's a big back, all the way from behind his shoulders out to his hip, down to that lower 1/3. He's bold and robust in his rib. Very dense made, has a very nice look. Maybe likes just seeing when he gets led, drop his head just a little bit. Wants to turn him out up front. Calf that comes next, it's tough right here between second and third for me. Third is got the kind of calf that's more my body speed. But the calf here in second is more my speed in terms of relaxation of his spine, just the way he gets out and goes. He has a nice, cool look to him. He's still plenty good enough body. That's why you're in second. I just like to see him float apart there and do his hard ever so slightly, drop him in that rear flank when you're viewing from behind. But that's a good, high quality calf. Got a lot of fun pieces to him. Maybe wants to toe out just a smidge up front. That's getting really picked on. A really nice calf. I like his greenness. I think that calf's got a bright future. I really like the denseness, the robustness, the overall mass, especially out of his hip and his upper rib cage, and carries that advantage in his lower 1/3 and our calf here in third. He's a big bone, big footed kind of a calf. But for me, it's when you set him into motion on the stand. I'd like to level his top out. He wants to get just a little bit jammed up for me from a power standpoint. That's the only reason that you're third. I like that calf. That's a very high quality one. I really like the calf that comes here in fourth from a structural integrity standpoint. I love to watch this calf float around the ring. He is so sound. He has no holes in him, but today he's running a little bit hollow. Maybe wants to be just a little sleepy, kind of wanting to roll that hip out of him. Wants to kind of just duck his neck into him. I'd like to see it just come out and get a little higher for him. But hey, I like that calf. I think that's a very good feeding fat steer. I think that calf's got a bright future. Calf that comes next in line, just a good, practical kind of a steer that just runs out of overall true power to run with the ones that are ahead of you. Got a nice calf, just need a little more of him, and I think that'll come in time, especially being lightweights. Really like the young lady's calf that comes here next. So sound, so functional, long body, smooth made, good looking, not any major holes, but for this guy, I'd like to see him stouter hip and shot more bone, but nice calf. I think you got a nice project on your hands. Young lady's calf that rounds out the class, love the power, love the look that he has. Just gets a little too upright on those ankles for me to get him any higher today. Excellent class. Congratulations to you young people.
Congratulations to your class winner, Caleb Thompson of Fruitland, New Mexico. Second, Addie Lafferty of Bard, New Mexico. Third, Colton Bushman of Joseph City, Arizona. Fourth, Arlette Flores of Williams, Arizona. Fifth, Smokey Darby of Paulden, Arizona. Sixth, Tilly Rubio of Hillsboro, New Mexico. And rounding out the class will be Gemma Belma of Stephenville, Montana. We're going to introduce our second place individuals. Bailey Stow of Marana, Arizona. Teague McFarland of Montague, Texas. and Addie Lafferty of Bard, New Mexico.
One in our prospect show this morning. I think we've got 6 really nice calves out here. I think they all have some different endpoints, and obviously it's going to be later on into their career, and I think they all have a lot of good to them. We'll talk them just briefly. You know, our first class winner, boy, you like a lot of things about him. You like his power and his hip, and really attractive through that front 1/3. Color pattern makes him look just neater than heck. I think that's a fun calf. Maybe out here in this lineup as we talked to him in class, set him back in his knee, relax him in those front pastures just a little bit, but I think that's a very, very good calf. The calf that wins our second class, one that sure got a neat look about him. Love the way that head comes out the top side of his shoulder blade. Very, very pretty headed, like the way his ears set up nice and high. He's good and tight and is to his chest, good balance. Big, big back and big hip. You know, he's a big legged calf. Got a lot of good to them. Maybe wants to get a little cut up to his flank ever so slightly, and maybe like to see him just walk with some more true base width, and I think that'll come in time. It's just today, but we got to judge him today. But I do appreciate what I think that guy can bring in the future as a big fat one. I think that one's got a lot of neat pieces. Then we get into our third class winner, you know, one that, does he have the leg hair that you know, the 2 in front of him have? No, but when you really truly evaluate that calf, breathe down through the hair, look at foot size, look at mass of circumference of bone. I think he's just as big as bone, if not bigger than the 2 that are ahead of him. He's a very robust, dense built calf that's got a nice look, great muscle shape, great balance, still has a good look to him, still youthful enough looking in terms of his condition for this weight and size. I think a very high quality calf. I think he gets close down here and the guy can do what he wants to do. For me, I'll go show you my 2 favorites again. Let's give this first round division an awesome round of applause, because I think it sets the tone for the rest of the show, and it's going to be pretty amazing, folks.
Your prospect steers, we'd like to welcome to the ring Jackson Rubio of Hillsboro, New Mexico, Ashton Burson of Belen, New Mexico, Paisley Crawford of Atascadero, California, Jesse Jaquez of Bloomfield, New Mexico, and Faith Campa of Golden Valley, Arizona.
I don't know if there's just one of them out here that hits me as a home run structurally, but the calf that wins the class does it the best of any out here in terms of structural integrity. Now, you want to stun him from the hock up. He is by far the neatest neck, coolest, wildest looking one that's out here. He's big back, big stout, thick-ended, good body kind of a calf. Maybe just like to see him just with some more depth of heel to him and maybe just relax those hocks as he gets out and goes, but I think that's a very, very neat calf. Blue Roan calf's not showing very good out here today, obviously, but I think that calf deserves to be in second in terms of sheer power and width. And when you're reading behind his shoulder all the way out to his hip, I think he's big back, big, bold, stout, thick-ended. He's a big bone, big footed kind of a calf that has a nice look. Maybe out here, I'd like to see him just a little longer from his hooks to his pins and relax him on his ankles as he gets out and goes. But I think that's a very, very good calf. The calf standing still that I like a lot is this one. I love the rib, the volume, the density. That one's my speed in that regard. He's a big, bold hip, big, wide back calf. But for me, he wants to run downhill a skosh. He wants to get flat in his heels. He wants to get a little bow-legged when you view him from behind. We can change that, he can win the class. I still think that one's very, very high quality. Young man does an excellent job of putting this one together that comes here. Very, very sound, very functional. Got a nice look to him. Got some rib and some volume and some depth to him. I just like seeing boulder down at his top and square out of his hip. But I think that's a very good feeding calf that does nothing but get better. And you do a tremendous job putting him together out here. Congratulations. Market heifer that rounds out the class, good kind of a female. She's long and growthy and performance oriented. She just needs a shot more natural rib and lower 1/3 body cavity for me to get her any higher today. Nice class of females, congratulations. Nice class of steers, congratulations you young people.
Congratulations to your class winner, Faith Campa of Golden Valley, Arizona. Second, Jesse Hackis of Bloomfield, New Mexico. Third, Paisley Crawford of Atascadero, California. Fourth, Jackson Rubio of Hillsboro, New Mexico. And rounding out the class will be Ashton Burson of Berlin, New Mexico. Eli Norsworthy of Radiant Springs, New Mexico. Huntley Housley of Sholo, Arizona. Landon Rogers of Chino Valley, Arizona. Shelby Vincent of Kingman, Arizona. Weston Fell of Hurley, New Mexico. Bella Evans of Redmond, Oregon.
nice pair of steers on our top end. The black calf, to me, I think he just rises to the top because I just see there's just a smidge more growth and future in this one. He's a big back. I really like how wide he is behind his shoulders, all the way down that loin, throughout that hip. Tail head lays good into him. He's a big, wide, square hip calf. Carries that advantage down low. Got huge bone underneath him. Big footed. Very, very nice looking from that front 1/3. Love the extension that calf gives you. Nice balance. If I was going to pick on this calf, I'd like to set his knees back into him just ever so slightly. I don't know if it's the hair or if it's him both or a combination of both. I'd like to just see him a little bit more banana shaped in that regard, but I think that calf's a nice calf. Calf that comes in second, I like the body, the boldness, robustness, the density that this calf has from end to end. That thing is so nice balanced from his chest floor back to his twist. You know, he's got a nice fat steer look. He's big and broad and wide and width and every dimension that you want to read him. But for me, he reads just a little quick in this class. And what I mean by that, he's a little shorter cannon. He's a little lower in his elevation. And he wants to walk outside himself and roll those hind two when you get in from behind him. I don't think it's unsound. It's just not quite what I'm looking for today compared to our class winner. But I think that's a very nice project that you have. Congratulations to you. Calf, got ball-faced calf that comes next. Is he as nice and level from his hooks to his pins as I like to see? No, I'd like to square him up there, but he's a big bone, big footed. I think he's a sounder structured calf than the calf that's below him. I would like to open him up in his lower 1/3 of his body cavity and give him some more base width from behind. But I think the fundamentals and practicality stick you right there with a nice feeding, good, cool, quality face calf. Yes, ma'am. Calf that comes next, I like the look that this calf has. He matches the two that win the class. He's leveler from his hooks to his pins in our class winner. He's bolder than the one that's ahead of him. He's bolder in his back and his hip than the one that's ahead of him. But for me, it's at the ground. I just really like to see this calf sounder off his hind two, giving him some depth of heel, giving him some base width. Nice high quality calf. Calf that comes next doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles in terms of presentation, but you really break this calf down, there's a lot of good fundamentals to him. He's sound, he's big boned, he's big footed, he has a nice look, he's very shapely out of his top 1/3 and out to his bottom 1/3 of his lower body cavity. Just a very nice calf, just needs a few more bells and whistles to go up ahead. Good feeding kind of a calf. Blue rump calf, very wide, very dense, just needs to be sounded off either end of his skeletal design. The two calves that round out the class, they're very sound, they're very good functional cattle. They have a nice look, they have some feeding ability to them. I think they'll get better as they get older. They just run out of sheer width and mass for me out here in this lineup today. Excellent class. Congratulations to you young people.
Winner Bella Evans of Redmond, Oregon. Second, Trey Teeter of Rifle, Colorado. Third, Ashton Burson of Belen, New Mexico. Fourth, Shelby Vincent of Kingman, Arizona. Fifth, Weston Fell of Hurley, New Mexico. Sixth, Landon Rogers of Valley, Arizona. Seventh, Eli Norsworthy of Radium Springs, New Mexico. And rounding up the class will be Huntley Housley of Sholo, Arizona. They're not really.
Well, our most challenging class of the day, and rightfully so. We have 3 on the top end that are very, very good, high quality cattle. One was a little late to the party, but I'm glad he showed up because he's a good calf. Very, very nice looking through that front 1/3. Love the way that his neck comes out top side of his shoulders. Really like the way his ears set top of his skull. Got a neat color pattern to him. So tight chested, and yet balance is so nice from his chest floor back to his underline. Big, capacious in his rib cage. Big backed all the way from behind his shoulders out through his hip. Carries that advantage down low. He's a big bone, big footed, sound, functional calf. Nice way to start our class. Then it gets a little closer down here. And people ringside want to flip flop these. I sure wouldn't argue with you. The kind of mousy colored calf, if you will. I just think when you really, he doesn't have he's not blessed with the hair that the one standing third has, but I think when you really break this calf down and analyze him, I think there's more true beef animal here from nose to tail. He's big backed, he's big and bold throughout the top side of his hip. Yes, does he be a little wider in his pin set compared to the 2 on either side of him? Most definitely, but I think where his advantage is off that rear 3/4 and front 3/4. Boy, he's bolder right there into his stifle, and I think he carries more true muscle down low and lower stifle there into his hock. Very sound structured, very, very good and deep and opened up and width of skeleton in his lower 1/3 of his body cavity. Bold and robust, my kind of calf. The calf that comes here next, I really like this calf. He's very captivating when you look at him for the first time. He's got a nice look to him. You love the turn and shape that he has out of his top. You like how wide pin set he is, especially compared to the one that's ahead of him. He's a big bone, big featured kind of a calf that's good body. But for me out here in this lineup, I think when you truly get behind him and look at him from each 3/4 direction, I think he gets a little flat underneath all that hair down low. Maybe wants to pinch there into that forerib. They left it pretty fluffy for a reason, I think. And that's the reason that calf's third. I think he's very high quality. Young man's calf that comes next, I like this calf. Good fundamentals. He's sound, he's big bone, big footed, got some depth of heel underneath him. Very attractive through that front 1/3. His problem out here in this lineup, young man, and it will come, he just needs time. He's kind of maybe like a weird growth stage. You know, he just needs the body on down. His rib shape's good. He reads that will come. But today in this class, I just like a little softer in his lower 1/3 of his body cavity. But I like the calf. He's very, very high quality. I think he'll make you a fun fat steer down the road. Calf that comes next, gold calf. Congratulations to you. Gold calf, I like this calf's power. Boy, he's so big and bold right behind his shoulders all the way out to his hip. Carries that advantage down low. However, for me in this lineup, he wants to be a little concave right behind his shoulder. Shoulder blades want to turn out ever so slightly. Like to drop him in his rear flank compared to the ones that are ahead of you. But I like that calf. I think he's a good feet one. Calf that comes next is one that's big body, good looking, a little short from his hooks to his pins. Maybe wants to hock in just a freckle.